Hey y'all, welcome back to What's Cooking with Fanny Boo. Today we're going to be making my Scrumptious Salmon Wellington. So let's check out the ingredients. We've got some salmon, some butter, an egg, some fresh baby spinach, Parmesan cheese, cream cheese, salt and pepper. We have lemon, onion, crescent rolls, minced garlic, and white wine. I've gone ahead and put a medium-sized frying pan over medium heat, and I put 2 tablespoons of the butter in there. We're going to add half of the onion, which I've chopped, and about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic to this butter. We'll go ahead and let this cook for a couple minutes until our onions are translucent, and then we're going to add the wine. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pour about a 1/4 cup of any white wine that you've got in the house in with those onions. Pour yourself a glass, enjoy. I obviously will be passing, but let's give that about 5 minutes before we add anything else in so it can reduce. Alright, so now that our wine has reduced in there and it's safe for all of us to eat, I'm going to go ahead and add this cream cheese in here. I just use half a container, so about 4 ounces, and I cut it into little cubes so that it can melt a little bit easier, and go ahead and mix in and blend very well with these onions and garlic. So we'll go ahead and do that. It should take about a minute, and then we'll add the spinach. We're going to add in about 5 ounces of the spinach to our cream cheese, onion, garlicky wine mix. So get just a few handfuls, should be enough. If you have a box this size, it's half. And while that is cooking and wilts, we will be preparing our salmon. Okay, so it's going to work best if our salmon is skinless. If it's not, go ahead and try and remove it the best you can. We're going to use a 1/4 of the lemon on here. Just squeeze all of that out. Go ahead, rub it in, rub it in. Some of the salt, not too much. Don't be shy either though. And a little bit of the pepper. And go ahead and rub those in too. And that's gonna do it for our salmon. Okay, so our spinach is just about done. We just have one more step with that. We're gonna grab about a 1/4 cup of this Parmesan, add it in there, sprinkle it, and go ahead and mix that in. Once you've mixed that in, you can go ahead and turn the burner off. And we're going to roll right into our crescent roll. So if you have some flour handy, just go ahead and spread that on your countertop so it doesn't stick. You don't have to use a lot, and you don't have to make a huge mess, but just enough to separate it. Any puff pastry will work. Crescent rolls are just a lot easier to find. So let's peel that open. Pull that thing out of there. And just unroll it. So you can go ahead and lay it down. And roll it out. Ludicrous voice. Roll out. So the crescent roll does have little marks. So what you're going to do is you're going to push those in so that there are no tracks on here. Just flatten it out a little bit. If you have a rolling pin, you can use that. If not, your hands work just fine. So you can push it together wherever you see a line, and then push down. And that's how that'll work. All right, now that we've gotten all of the holes out of our crescent roll, it's just one big puff pastry. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up our salmon and put it right smack dab in the middle. You want about 2 inches on each side of it because we're gonna fold that over. So before we fold it over and add everything in, what I have here is an egg wash. So the egg that we had, I went ahead and scrambled that up in here with a 1 teaspoon of water. So if you have a brush, that's great. If not, you can use your fingers. It works just fine. Just go ahead and grab it, put on the edges. And when you're done with the edges, don't throw it away just yet because you're going to use it again. So just all along the sides. This will help it stick when we fold it over. If you're allergic to eggs, you can just use water. It doesn't work as well, but it'll definitely get the job done. Okay, so we've got that on there. We're gonna get our spinach and put that right on top of the salmon. Once it's up here, you want to spread it out as evenly as you can. That way you can get a little bit in every bite. Okay, so we'll go ahead and fold this over right here. I'm gonna fold this one over this way. This one's gonna come over right here. And then this side. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and put it in our pan so we can pop it in the oven. So try to pick this up with as much finesse as you can. Flip it, put it right here. I lined my pan with oil, just an easier cleanup. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. We're going to use the wash on top. Just go ahead and spread it on there. This will give our Wellington a nice golden look. Just that nice pretty look that you get. So it can look like the pictures, basically. Again, if you don't have a brush, your fingers, your hands will work just fine. And one last step before we pop it in the oven. We're just going to create a couple of lines on here. They don't have to be crazy deep. But you're going to do a cross hatch. So what that means is you do them in one direction at a diagonal, and then at another in the opposite direction. So it creates these pretty little squares. If you cut through, you see the salmon, that's fine, don't worry about it. It still has to cook, so just like that. And it is ready to put in the oven. Okay, so fast forward about 25-30 minutes. Let's pull this baby out. Look at that. That is beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and let this cool down before we cut it, and it is ready to serve. Real quick, while that was in the oven, if you wanted to whip up a nice little salad to go with it, super easy. Some mixed greens, some cherry tomatoes, avocado, a splash or a sprinkle of that parm, and then just a splash of balsamic. Really quick, toss it, serve it with the Wellington. Awesome. So what you want to do is go for about 1.5 to 2 inch slices. So you should get about 4 servings out of this, 4 large servings. And use a sharp knife so you don't ruin all those pretty hash marks that you made. But that's going to be about it, folks. So I hope you enjoy it. It's pretty yummy, pretty tasty. And see you next time.